Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1986's Pretty in Pink.
Cue my Otis Redding lip syncing part.
Sure. Let's dance around and
tenderness. That never works. Let's just start there. Don't just storm into a fucking record store with the girl you like and start lip syncing Otis Redding.
Don't get ahead of ourselves.
We're in it already. We're in too deep.
So before we actually get into it, if you want to reach out to me or Corey on Twitter, you can reach out to me at Junior D's. You can reach out to Corey at Idle Poncho. And let's get into the cast of Pretty in Pink. This film stars Molly Ringwald as Andy, Jon Cryer as Ducky, Andrew McCarthy as Blaine, James Spader as Steph the Douche, Harry Dean Stanton as Jack, and Annie Potts as Iona.
Dude, this is when my Annie Potts love started. Like, I hit peak Annie Potts love at Designing Women. Like, when she had the red curly hair, it was done. I was done, son. Done. She had me. This, I was like, yo, is that freaky broad from Ghostbusters? Because she's doing it for me. And then Designing Women hit, and I was over.
Little bit. So, this was a request, okay? And we've been getting a lot of 80s movies requests.
Yes.
Some 90s, lots of 80s. And, the 80s, where the homeless look was in. And you could dress like homeless Elvis, a flight attendant, or a 1920s flapper just in public.
Yeah, just wear a fucking potato sack. As long as it was baggy and had some sort of a collar to it, you're good to go.
We'll kick this off by just saying this, because you and I are both huge Molly Ringwald fans.
Yes.
And I believe your whole redhead fascination started with her, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for remembering my masturbatory history.
Did they purposefully in this movie try to screw her over and just make her wear the most frumpy outfits throughout this thing?
That was weird. Like, I get the whole, like, I'm poor. Fine. And she's like, I make my own clothes. Do you not know how to size some shit? Can somebody not afford a measure?
No, she does. She knows how to make it straight, like 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
straight up and straight down.
Like, Molly, girl, it's okay.
So you started it off. Andy is, shall we say, a bit poor.
Yes, and they really want to drive home that she's fucking poor.
Yes.
She's so poor that her dad is heartbroken.
How poor is she?
Heartbroken because the mom left. Not died, left. And for 4 years, he's been a fucking alcoholic.
Apparently a part-time handyman.
Who has no desire
That's
for
the other thing I don't like about these movies, like in the 80s. They're like, I don't know, he's got to be poor. He's got to be, like, not motivated. Handyman? Handyman. Let's just make him a handyman.
Yeah. Poor drunk bastard.
So Andy's poor. She's a bit of an outcast at school. She works at a record store and makes her own clothes. And to be honest, they're not all winners.
No, like, she can make better clothes than I can, but that being said, I can safety pin a couple bags together and drape it over my shoulders.
Exactly. Same here.
Yeah, put a fucking doily around my neck.
We see her day to day at school as she's mocked by the rich and cool kids at her school. She takes care of her dad, who's still a mess after being left by Andy's mom years ago. And Ducky is her best friend, who is secretly and has been secretly in love with her since they were children.
Secretly.
She doesn't get what they call the social cues. So he literally is all over her. And it's not like, oh, he's in the friend zone because he's just friendly with her and he can't build up the courage. He's constantly saying stuff to her that if you had half a clue, you'd be like, I think the kid's borderline I'm not even borderline. He's a stalker, and like it's almost scary levels now.
Yeah, he's right below Kirby from St. Elmo's Fire.
He's a lovable Kirby.
Yeah, a little bit less threatening, not college educated Kirby. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, his whole character is a cautionary tale. It really is, because everything he does, his behavior from start to finish is just don't do it.
Yes,
even
absolutely.
If you get put in the friend zone, we'll just call this a PSA. Hi, daters, Uncle Corey. If you get put into the fucking friend zone, that's fine. You stay there and you gather intel. If she doesn't view you as a sexual being, she's never going to.
Yes.
So sit there, learn what girls like, learn what they don't like, understand what makes a fucking asshole, what doesn't make an asshole in the feminine world, and then go out and find somebody that's going to want to jump on your stick. That's fine.
Well, and Andrew, out of all the people in this movie, Andrew Dice Clay gives him the best advice.
Yes.
And that's basically it. Why does she come to this club? Because she knows you can't get in. If you guys are so tight and and whatever, why does she come here? Because she knows you can't get in. Yeah. That's a clue and a half for your ass to, hey, there's another chick over here who actually looks at me. So that's cool.
Yeah, and by the way, if you told me that like a John Hughes-esque 80s teenage movie starring Molly Ringwald would also have a cameo by Andrew Dice Clay, I would tell you are full of shit. That was one of the most shocking things I've ever seen in a movie.
I did remember this, and I couldn't remember if I was just thinking of Ford Fairlane or if I was like, I think he's in this movie. I'm like, I could be thinking of Ford Fairlane, but whatever.
Ford
and then he
Fairlane.
showed up.
Holy God. I can't wait till we get to that one. Wow.
So after all of this, enter Blaine. He's a popular rich kid who's interested in Andy despite the social pressure from his friends. He stalks her in school, on the computers in the library, and then at work until he musters up enough courage to talk to her at the record store.
Okay, we got to go back a little bit because one,
absolutely,
we have a weird scene where James Spader is like leaning on Andy's car when we're first introduced to him.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, don't you like me?" Which I don't understand. Like that whole. First off, I fucking love James Spader, and this is like the most James Spader role ever, and he kills it.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why we're introduced to him this way.
I agree with you. I do agree with that.
It's just really weird. It's random. Like I thought maybe he was going to be into her a little bit, and that's why like he and Andrew McCartney had they started butting heads.
Yeah, he just wants to bang, and it was introduced just weird.
Yeah, and you find out later, like you think okay, like he wants to hit it.
Yeah, when
he's leaning up against her car, like you said, but you find out later he doesn't approve of her at all. Like he even tells Andrew McCartney, "You fuck her, you will not have me as a friend."
Well, and he was upset with Andrew McCarthy because he was like, "Oh, if you want to date her," he's like, "If you want to bang her, just get it over with and let's get back to like being friends. But if you want to date her, like we're through." And I think that's all he was trying to do. And I think they were just trying to set up the fact that he was just like, "Hey, I got a dirty dick." And so Blaine stalks her at school. He finally asks Andy out at school. She accepts. And as he walks back into the school, Steph tracks Blaine down like some douchey Columbo and busts his balls about talking to Andy. I know we busted Ducky's balls about, being around Andy and yada, yada. Steph is Blaine's Ducky.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. Like, he doesn't, like, he's rich and good looking and I bang the chicks, whatever. He doesn't have the confidence in himself and he's just like, hey, Spike, what are we doing now? Why are you talking to Andy? We shouldn't be talking to Andy. We're rich people and she's poor.
Hey, Spike, how about we chase cars, huh? Does that sound like fun?
And he just follows him around at all times. He comes into the record store and he's like, hey, we got to make trap shooting. Hit the bricks, pal.
James Spader's character on coke and scotch and everything else that he's putting into his body with a fucking shotgun in his hand. Are you out of your mind? There's no fucking way I'm going trap shooting.
Exactly.
Ask Dick Cheney's friends how that works out.
Ducky then is at the record store when Blaine comes to pick Andy up for their date. And he loses his shit. He's been friend zoned since he was 5 years old. Yes. And now she finally has a date with a good-looking dude who has some money, and he's pissed. And he doesn't even know who this dude is. They all go to school together, but he doesn't know who he is?
Right.
How big is your school?
He doesn't know who he is. He starts acting like he's entitled to something because he's been putting in time. Yeah. That's never a good move. Just
no. That's never a good sentence.
Yeah. You're not owed shit, Ducky. And all you would-be duckies.
Well, I guess that's just tough shit.
He fucking just completely goes off the rails and continues to act like she no longer matters in such a way, like, don't call me Ducky anymore. Like when they, because I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but as the night continues on and they run back into him, he's still a bigger dick. And it's just like, you were never dating.
Yeah.
You never held her hand. You barely got a hug.
Yep.
And Andy's not all in the right here either, because she knows how Ducky feels about her.
Oh,
she hears him singing through the vents in the beginning when they're studying and all that jazz. Like, she's leading him on because she likes knowing she has her fallback guy. Fine. It just, they did Ducky's character zero favors. He starts off as a stalker.
Yes.
He's making weird, like, sexual things at her when they come out of the club. She's like, I'm going to bed. And he's like, oh.
Good. Now what now?
Bed.
Yours or mine? Ours?
You're my friend. Weirdo? What the fuck is wrong with you?
She knows. He knows. He knows that
That's
she
what
knows
happens when
that
you spend
he knows.
20 minutes with Andrew Dice Clay. That's what happens. He spent 20 minutes getting advice from Andrew Dice Clay, and he's like, hey, you gonna wax this pole for me, sweetheart?
Hey, honey, it's not gonna suck itself, okay? During this whole Ducky scene where he goes off, he tells her that their friendship is basically over and he's through with her. She then goes, damn, and gets over it pretty quickly. And Blaine takes her to a party at Steph's house to hang out with his douchey friends while Ducky cries in the rain. I wanted to see an REM song play here, even though REM wasn't a thing.
100%. And
everybody hurts.
He's going to grow up to be Phil Spector. Like, that's what happens to guys like Ducky.
They go to this party, and while they're at the party, Andy is judged and gawked at and generally treated like shit the entire time that they're there. And she continually is like, we should go. I don't even know why I came here. He's like, no, let's stay. It's gonna get better. Okay. I know Corey does all of the PSAs, but I'm gonna throw in one here. If somebody throws out the sentence, no, it gets better. It definitely never gets better. Just FYI. Just
only if you're a young gay man coming up in this world. That's the only time it gets better.
Exactly. Like, but if you're just at a party, you're not having a good time. You're like, wow, everybody treats me like shit. Help me, I'm poor. And then somebody says to you, it gets better. Let's go upstairs and hang out and talk. You can go to the movies. You can go to the pizza place. You can go to 100 different places. Why do you got to stay there? And he's like, oh, my hands are in my pockets and I'm not going to do anything. I just want to hang out with you, which is great.
Yeah, it's super.
It's noble. How about you grab that 6-pack and those pretzels and we hit the fucking road and we just go hang out at the park or something away from all these douchebags. But
anywhere.
They go upstairs to get some quiet hang time. and they run into a drunk and or high Steph.
Yeah, I think that's an all of the above teach.
Yeah, I think so. And one of the cool chicks that's hanging out with Steph sees Andy, and she gets pissed because the poor girl from gym class is at the party.
Which tells you that Steph ain't hitting that shit right. Because you just got laid and you're that pissed off.
Everybody should be chill and happy.
You guys should just be like, oh, cool. What's up? I'm probably pregnant, but what's up, man? I'm feeling pretty good.
You know there was no condoms used here.
Fuck no.
You're an asshole.
All right.
I don't want to know what you are.
I have herpes and I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
So
have fun with that fucking child.
After this scene, we then get our second Andrew Dice Clay sighting in this movie as he does the smoking tricks with the lighter and shit for no reason at all as they go into the club. The only reason they shoot this is to show you the outside of the club, Cats. And hey, we're going into Cats now, and this is where this takes place.
Just in case you missed it the first time, that really was Andrew Dice Clay.
And he does all the fucking smoking tricks like, cool. So he gets
like it's fucking Charlie Chaplin.
I don't know what he's saying.
And by the way, if you want to know if Dice's smoking trick stands the test of time,
it does.
Go into a bar and just do that.
And watch the bouncer pick.
Tossed so fast.
No, now you gotta do it. Now you gotta do it with the vape. Now you just right. Like that whole thing.
So cloud, bro.
Then a drunk Ducky sits and talks to Iona at the Cats bar. Blaine and Andy go to the Cats bar and sit with Iona and Ducky, and it gets incredibly awkward and just uncomfortable for everybody involved.
I like how Blaine handles himself, though, here.
Blaine handles himself well.
Andy jumps back into her shell when she gets any kind of confrontation.
Yeah.
Popular rich kids are bugging her. She just kind of shrinks. Fucking Ducky gets in Blaine's face. He's like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? Like, you're making her uncomfortable. She's supposed to be your friend. Like, he's not even making it about him.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just chill out? Then he fucking just straight up tells him, you're an asshole.
You're an asshole. Hey, blow me buttwad. Coming from you, I take that as a compliment.
If Blaine is supposed to be an 18-year-old kid in this movie, he is the most well-adjusted 18-year-old rich kid I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
It's astounding how well put together he is compared to the shit show that is surrounding him with literally every other human being on Earth.
Absolutely. Blaine then offers to take Andy home here, but after this weird back and forth, Andy finally admits that she didn't want Blaine to take her home because she didn't want him to see where she lived, and he takes her home anyway and asks her to the prom here. So she's obviously super excited. They kiss. She goes in and talks to her dad. And Blaine, hanging out with Steph a couple of scenes later, gets into the discussion with him about bringing Andy to the party. Blaine busts Steph's balls about treating Andy like shit. And then this is where Steph tells him if he wants to date Andy, then all of Blaine's friends will be gone. Everybody's going to ghost you. I'm done with you. Everybody that was at the party, all your friends are done with you. And again, if somebody says this to you, and this goes back to, I think during a Bronx Tale, we brought this up. If shit like this is being said around you, and if you do X, then you won't have any friends. Hey, you know what? Fuck your friends. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, fuck you and your ultimatums.
Yeah, exactly. So
here's an ultimatum that I guarantee you won't like. You fucking talk to me like that again, I will break every fucking bone in your body, you piece of shit. Who the fuck are you? Out of your mind.
Listen.
And this is the thing that really got me about this conversation, because I hear this a lot, and I hate. This is one of these cliches in movies that they never fire back on. Where Steph says, if it were me, I wouldn't ruin a friendship over this, but I don't know. And then he just kind of walks out and leaves Blaine standing there slack-jawed. Like, oh, fuck, he's right. No, you are ruining a friendship. There's two sides to this coin.
Yes, absolutely.
Your ultimatum is just what ruined this friendship.
Yep.
You smug fuck. Dude. For as much as I love James Spader, I wanted to fucking curb stomp him so bad in this movie, which is a credit to his performance, because that's exactly how he was meant to do.
Dude, he's brilliant as an actor. He plays this role to perfection. Blaine then stops answering Andy's calls, ghosts her at school, and Andy tracks him down at school and confronts him.
Which was great. And she's starting to come out of her shit a little bit here.
Yeah, but
we do have to rewind. I'm sorry. We do have to rewind because we skipped over an important part, which was Andy's dad seeing her and Blaine kiss out the window, waiting for her to come in, and then having the conversation with her about going to prom and how that's exciting, and kissing a boy can make your brain do fuzzy things like that. Ha 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 ha. Wait until tomorrow. Dude. For an alcoholic part-time handyman father, they made him like the most woke-ass motherfucker I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
What father is... First off, don't watch your daughter making out with her beau outside of your window. That's nasty. Second, for him to be just all calm and cool and being like, you're going to prom, that's great. You made out with them. That makes you a little froggy-brained. Wear a condom. Don't be like Steph. Wear a condom. Like, he's just so fucking chill about the whole conversation.
You made it sound like he was touching his no-no square as he was watching him through the window. Like, I'm sure he's like a normal dad, just like, okay, a kiss. That's all you get. Shit starts going further. I'm going to take my drunk ass out there and I'm going to beat you. So...
I don't know.
That's how I would look at that.
I can only speak from my experience in watching people through my window. Okay. Maybe I do things a little differently.
So Andy tracks him down in school then. She loses her shit and she's pressing him hard. So she goes hard in the paint here with him. I'm not going to lie. I know you said, oh, Blaine for, his age is... He's a punk ass bitch here.
Oh, yeah, no, he 100%, up until this point, I should have clarified, because this is just...
He deflects,
reprehensible behavior.
Yeah, I can't take you to prom because I forgot, I asked somebody else, and yada, yada, and he just goes into, like, this bitch-ass shell.
Yeah.
And she's got him on the rope. She, like, okey-dokes him here. Like, she's got him on the ropes, and she just blasts him and then bounces. Ducky then overhears Steph talking shit to Blaine about Andy, and Ducky then attacks Steph in the hallway. And I'm not going to lie, holds his own a little bit here. I know he blindsides him.
He beats his ass.
Like, but he blindsides him, which is a
kind of a
bitch-ass move.
He beats his ass.
But he holds his own here, which surprises me for Ducky's character. But apparently he's got all that rage pent up. So
that's the one thing I liked is neither of those guys are tough guys. Steph isn't tough. He's got popularity and money.
Exactly.
That's all he is.
Yep.
Ducky definitely isn't tough.
Yep.
But he gets that fucking nerd rage. And so when that fight happens, it's a really good... Yeah, you don't fuck with nerd rage now. But when
I know
the
what
fight
that's
happens,
all about.
It's a fairly realistic fight. Like, Ducky's not throwing, like, fucking Tyson haymakers to the body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just kind of, like, stomping him, and Steph has to cover up like a little punk because he doesn't know how to fight.
Because he doesn't want his linen suit fucking wrinkled.
I wouldn't either. He looked fly as shit in that suit. But yeah, no, I really liked that fight. I thought that was a good fight. It needed to happen. And
here's the other
somebody
thing.
sticks up for Andy, for Christ's sakes.
Well, and here's the other thing. This is the one thing I didn't like. So as Ducky, and I get it, Ducky isn't the most, outgoing. All the clothes and the fedoras and all the bullshit. It's just hiding all his insecurities.
Sure.
But you just got done holding your own against the super rich popular kid. I don't know why I did that, because that's exactly who he is.
Right.
But you just got done holding your own against that dude, and then you just run away? I'd been in the hallway like, did you see that shit? Yeah.
Right.
Did you see that shit?
Who
I'd
else
beat
wants
his
some of
ass.
Beat him down, beat you down. Who else wants some? Who else wants some of Debo?
I'd be fucking barking in the teacher's face who was like just standing there looking. I'd be, oh, what do you know? What do you know, bitch? Go get me some chocolate milk, because you know Ducky drinks chocolate milk.
He absolutely drinks chocolate milk. Andy then decides that she wants to go to prom by herself. Goes into the I'm making my own prom dress and fuck everyone montage.
Yep. And she has a weird slow dance with Annie Potts, where I was like, just let that movie play out. I'm fine with the lesbian think piece. Starring that beehive and that red hair. Let's get it on, son. That's the movie I need to make.
So, cut to the prom. And they zoom in the prom, and apparently there's 2 bellhops that are DJing the prom.
White people prom sucks.
Dude, first of all, again, going back to the 80s, you could dress like homeless Elvis. You could dress like a flight attendant, a bellhop. Like, basically, yeah, just not for me. Not for me. No. I knew I grew up there, but not for me.
Yeah, 80s and 90s, just white people school proms were horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Best thing about my prom was I got 2 knuckles deep. That was about it.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I just like to relive fond prom memories on the show, you know.
So Andy shows up by herself, and Ducky's there for her. He's got the suit, the bolo, and, you know, but he's still Ducky because I still got my fucking dirty white shoes. Cool, yep. Ducky. Awesome.
I will always be Ducky because I can do, like, the foot movements of Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, and I got dirty white shoes. So cool. I still look poor, even though I have nice clothes on. So Blaine then here tells Steph basically to fuck off and goes over to Andy to apologize. And he does another good move here because he shakes Ducky's hand.
Yeah, like, and I thought Ducky was going to fucking big time him again, too. Yeah. And I was going to be like, bro, let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a really cool scene, the shaking of the hands. And see, this is what I mean by Ducky. If Ducky didn't overreact, he doesn't realize the power he's got there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a shit. Like, you basically have approval. If you were cool through that whole time and you were just like, man, Blaine's a fucking dick. I heard him talking to Steph. I had to whoop Steph's ass over you. Blaine just walked away like a little bitch. You can worm your way back in there. You just got to be smart about that shit.
PSA for people in the friend zone. According to Corey, this is where you make your move.
Yeah, dude, play your cards right, bro.
I like it. I like it.
And it works. He plays it cool and he ends up with Christy Swanson at the end.
Yes, absolutely. So Blaine here tells Andy that he loves her and he's sorry, and he just leaves. He walks away. And then Ducky tells Andy to go after Blaine. And it looks like, we're back in the friend zone again. Until some chick at the prom looks at him, gives him the look. And now he has somebody else to stalk. So, good for Ducky.
Yeah, I don't think he's won. I don't think he's going to have to stalk her.
No, I don't think so.
She looked really into, like, his whole vibe right there. And I'm telling you, it's because he played it cool as shit. You dropped the stalker bullshit. You acted like a fucking Mac. You did what was right. People notice that shit.
Yeah, and if you stop dressing like a homeless person, maybe somebody will notice you. And
yeah, you look like the white kid at Hillman College on a different world. Like, you look like an asshole, Ducky.
Like, I don't know, from the waist up, like the outfit was fun. I dig the fedora on the back, the glasses. The vest, it was the 80s, cool, good on you. But you got like dress shoes and like white tube socks and shorts. It was just a fucking goddamn mess. Like when he's talking to her dad and he's sitting there and it literally looks like it's 2 homeless guys talking to each other about shit. Andy then tracks down Blaine in the parking lot and they make out until we fade to black and the credits roll.
Yay!
outside of a few things, I really liked it. This was a fun movie.
Oh yeah, no, look, this is still a good movie for what it is, for these types of like 80s kind of Brat Pack Molly Ringwald movies.
Yeah.
It's very good, and it sets itself apart from a lot of other ones, mainly because it's not geeks over here, nerds over here, jocks over here. It's rich and poor. That translates across fucking every generation. It's still there today, no matter who you are, where you come from. There is still that rich-poor divide. Yep. So I love that portion of it. I like the insecurities, the fish out of water, kind of thing.
Yep.
Both of them trying to fit in, I thought was interesting. God damn, I hated Ducky. They would have dialed him back to about a 7. He would have been so much better. But that dude's cranked up to like 11 this whole fucking movie.
Yeah,
and it's too much. Like, I feel like people watch this movie and we're like, dude, that guy's extra. And then that's how people use that phrase. Yeah. That's how it got invented.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I remember this movie, and I remember liking Ducky. And again, I was young, and poor Ducky. And now I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, like, just fucking pump the brakes on your shit, just a hair. And maybe you won't come across as so goddamn desperate.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
100%. I think everybody, all the kids did really well. I think Harry Dean Stanton and Annie Potts were underutilized completely.
I agree with that.
Those are two really good actors that they really could have stretched a little bit out. Yeah. Maybe if you take out some of the James Spader scenes where it just don't make sense.
True.
Or Ducky just talking to Andrew Dice Clay or Andrew Dice Clay.
Just, hey, bing, boom, boom, bing, hey. Cool.
We could find 30 seconds of dialogue for one of those two to make it a little bit better, a little more worth their time. Yeah. But yeah, overall, man, I liked it. I was a lot better. I hadn't seen this one. I've always been more in the 16 Candles camp. Yeah. And I have a feeling now that the extreme Asian racism in 16 Candles won't translate. So I think Pretty in Pink just moved up the list for me.
You know what? I'm kind of the same with you. Pretty in Pink wasn't on my radar as far as these movies with Brat Pack and that. It was at the bottom of the list if it was on the list, but it was kind of like, I got done watching it, I'm like, it was quick, it was fun, it was, you know what I mean? It was just you're invested in the characters, and which is all you really need. There were some funny parts, and it was, I like the whole rich poor thing. Like that was kind of cool. But at the end of it, I think it still holds up. I mean, if you get rid of you get rid of half of Ducky's wardrobe and Molly Ringwald's potato sacks that she wears throughout it, I think the movie still holds up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, the overall message is 100% still accurate, which is fuck everybody else. Yeah. You like them. They like you. Do what you want to do. Who cares?
Exactly. So, do you have anything else for this?
Yeah, actually, this was a request from one of our female viewers. And she also let me know that we've been neglecting them quite a bit with some of the movies. So for the next couple weeks here, strap on. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Because we're about to peg it.
Sure.
No, cool. we're about to hit all of your requests that you wanted over the next couple weeks. So
very cool. So, and if you have any other requests, comment below, let us know. And we'll see you guys next week with another great episode.
Yay!
For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1986's Pretty in Pink.